Hello guys and welcome to my review of Far Cry 3, and this review is actually going to be a little bit different than my normal reviews because I'm not using a script this time because I just got finished with this game. It took me about a month to beat it. It was kind of a busy month, had a lot of different things to do, so there'd only be certain days where I'd be able to play it, and when I played it I usually played it a lot. So it's all fresh off my mind. I just thought it'd be better for me to do my review this way. So, first of all, I'm not really going to go over the graphics anymore because it's kind of pointless in my opinion. Graphics don't really make a game. But I will go over the audio in this review because the audio in Far Cry 3 for the most part is fine. It's not anything revolutionary and it doesn't sound as good as, say, a Halo 4 or Battlefield 3. But the audio for less important characters, like just a random pirate, and sometimes even the important characters, I can't really describe it. If I can find a sound clip, I'll just play this part in the video. But I can't really describe it, but the audio does not sound very good when any character, like just a random pirate talks. Say you're walking up on a group of pirates and you hear them in a conversation. Maybe it's just me, but it doesn't sound normal. Their voices don't sound normal, and the audio quality doesn't sound as good as compared to the rest of the characters. Not really sure why that is, but it just doesn't sound great to me. But anyways, audio doesn't really mean too much. Let's go into the gameplay. Far Cry 3, you're on this island, and there's various things to do on it. It's just, for the most part, your normal role-playing game. You can follow the main quest, and you can pretty much follow that the whole way through. To discover other areas of the island, you can go out and activate these radio towers. And when you activate the radio tower, it'll reveal a certain area of the map, and it'll make things free in the store. And then you can also capture outposts. When you do that, it'll enable fast travel points, and you get XP, a lot of XP for your skill point upgrades, which I'll go over in a second. You get a lot of XP for that. If you take the base, well, if you take the outpost in general, you'll get a lot of XP, but you can get even more by doing certain things, like going undetected and stuff like that. Anyways, this game, whenever you get kills, whenever you do quests, any of that, you get XP. And this is sort of one of my first gripes with the game, is that once you get so much XP, you'll get a skill point. You can use that skill point on one of your abilities. And this happens with every single RPG. But there was a point where I got so many abilities, and the next ones I can get were really useless. Like, when I looked at them, I thought, you know what, I really don't need that. That seems kind of useless. For example, there was one where, I don't know, if I did something, if I killed a certain something with my bow or something like that, it would give me extra money, and I thought, you know what, I pretty much have enough money to buy anything, so why do I need more? I'd rather spend that skill point on something else. But the other things that I needed to put the skill point in was either locked, or I had to unlock some other things before I could get that. So this, like I said, this happens with every RPG. For example, in Fallout 3, where you have the perks, you only get to enable so many perks, which is a good thing in Fallout 3, because there's a lot of perks where you just look at it and you're like, do I really need that? And I find that a lot with Far Cry 3. Except in Far Cry 3, just playing the main quest, you pretty much get enough skill points to level everything up. Just in an average playthrough, you'll probably be able to level everything up with your skill points. And I just, there were points where I got 5 skill points stacked up, and I didn't really want to spend them on anything. So once I got them all stacked up, I was like, well, whatever, I'm just going to put it on everything. So that was my first gripe. I didn't find some of those abilities too useful, or some of them would be things where they'd only come in handy in very rare situations, like dual death from below or something like that. It's like, I'm only going to use that probably once. But anyways, let's move on. There's also a big part of this game that some people really like, is the hunting. If you want to hunt, I'd suggest getting another game. But the hunting is a little fun side thing. There's side quests, Path of the Hunter quests. And they're kind of fun. I really like hunting in games, and in this game I really liked hunting with the bow and arrow. Or sometimes sniper rifles. I thought the hunting was just a little side thing. you have to get animal pelts to craft certain things like your syringe kit or your loot, your wallet. You need to get certain animal pelts to upgrade all those things. And I thought the hunting was a fun little side thing, but I pretty much, when I saw what you needed to upgrade all the stuff, I thought, what's the point of doing all this, trickling all this stuff in? I'm just gonna get all these animal pelts and just get all this crap upgraded right away. So I spent like a good couple hours of the game just straight up hunting so I could get everything upgraded. So the hunting, it's not very unique, and obviously if you're like me, you're probably just gonna get all your stuff crafted, and it gets a little tedious. But it's a fun side thing, especially when you hunt a thing like a bear. I just really like hunting in games, and I don't know, it's just pretty fun. Pretty fun, but it does get tedious after a while. But like I said, it's just a side thing. There's also various side quests you can do in the game. For example, basically trap shooting. You can do knife throwing. You can do supply drops, where basically you have this piece of supplies and there's these checkpoints you got to run through, and you got to get it to the last checkpoint in a certain amount of time. And there's other things where it's races, where you got to complete a certain time on a course, and that's all for getting you money. Stuff like that, all those side quests. I found myself, I did a couple of those side quests, and then I just got bored of them, so I just stopped. There was a point where I wasn't, I didn't get too much time to play the game, so I thought, screw it, I'm just going to go through the main quest. And after I did all the side quests, after I did all the hunting, all that crap, I did a bunch of outposts. I got sort of tired of that, and I just went on a streak of doing the main quests. But that's the thing, there's a lot of things to do in this game, and that's what I love about it. I'd say it has some replayability. I'll definitely be going through a second playthrough eventually. I wish I had enough space on my hard drive on my Xbox, because if I did, I already would have, but I'm going through Bulletstorm right now. But anyways, that was a lot to talk about. But overall, the gameplay is fun. It's just a normal RPG. There's but it's different, because it's in the jungle and has its own little style. And it's really fun. There's plenty of things to do. But I really want to get to the main story. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I do want to get through my complaints really quickly. Main story is whatever. It's not anything revolutionary. I didn't really care for the main story. It was just average. But there were some things in it that really frustrated me. One of those things, for example, is there's several situations in the game where you look at the situation and you're thinking to yourself, how do I get myself out of this? How is it possible that I get myself out of this situation? Then suddenly you go into your little drugged dream state and you do whatever in there, you come out and everybody's dead and you're out of the situation. I hated that. It was really it just seemed lazy. I understand that if they didn't do that, it probably would have just been a quick time event to get yourself out of it. But at the same time, it seemed kind of lazy. Alright, so how do we get this guy, the main character, out of this situation that seems impossible to get out of? How about we have him go into his drugged state, where he's in his subconscious, and he's killing a bunch of the enemy in the dream state, where in real life, he's going on a huge massacre, but you don't see any of that. You don't see that huge massacre. All you're going to see is that drug state, and that's how he's going to get out of the situation. I just did not like that at all. I'll put the word in the video. No idea how to pronounce it, but that's exactly what it is. It's a stupid plot device where unsolvable problem just becomes resolved in a stupid way. Did not find those drug state things. I just didn't like them. I didn't care for them. I thought that was very lazy, and that happens a decent amount when you kill. I mean, that for almost every single main character death that happens, and I find that very frustrating. Like I said, it just seems lazy to me. And that was one of my main complaints. That was really my main complaint with the main story. I thought it was just an average story, whatever, but those things I didn't really like. It's the whole jungle magic bullcrap. I really don't care. I honestly rather would have just had a quick time event to kill those characters that I'm talking about instead of the drug state thing. Like I said, that just seemed a little random. and a little lazy to me. I get the idea, but just seemed lazy. But this is dragging on. I don't like my reviews being too long, but that's pretty much all I have to say about Far Cry 3. The main story is meh, but there is some stuff about it that I really do not like. The gameplay is really fun. There's plenty of things to do. Some of those things get tedious, but that really happens with every RPG, so what are you going to do? I really like the combat, for the most part. I really like the combat, and the audio, there was that little issue, but that's whatever. But anyways, really fun game. I definitely recommend getting it, but if you like getting games for the story, I'd steer clear of this one and get any other game, for example, BioShock Infinite, which is my next review. Anyways, Far Cry 3 was decent. Well, it was a good game, but there were some things about it that were subpar. Overall, I would give it an 8.5. Really fun game, and I know I didn't mention the multiplayer at all. To be honest, I never see anybody playing the multiplayer, and I got it a little late, and nobody's ever on it, so I just said, screw it. I'm not even gonna worry about the multiplayer. This is a single player review. Screw the co-op, all that. Maybe I'll do a separate review for that, but this is just single player. Just single player for this game, I give it an 8.5 because it has fun gameplay that gets a little tedious eventually, but it has fun gameplay, plenty of things to do in the island. There's so many fun things you can do on the island that you'll be playing this game for hours, and in general the game takes a couple hours to complete, quite a few hours. The main story is decent, it's not anything revolutionary, but it does have some things that I found kind of lazy, and the graphics is fine. I don't really care about that. The audio has some weird things, but it's all fine, but it's not amazing. Like I said, it's not like Battlefield 3 or Halo, but whatever. So anyways, the main components of the game, the story and the gameplay. Story's fine, gameplay is great. So I'll give it an 8.5. Really fun game. I definitely enjoyed it. I got it for $20 because of that huge Xbox sale. Heck yeah. $20 was definitely a great price for this game for how much I played it. Also, just a little quick beef before I send off. Why did they use I don't know who said it or what said it, but the whole Far Cry 3 is like Skyrim with guns thing. Why did they use that so much in the trailer? That's stupid. That doesn't describe the game at all. This is nothing. In my opinion, this is nothing like Skyrim. Yeah, this and Skyrim are both an RPG, but besides that, it's like, okay. I mean, personally, I didn't find Skyrim as addicting as other people did, but I think I'd play this game more than Skyrim, but that's just my personal taste. Skyrim, that's another review I should redo. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Next review will be BioShock Infinite. Any comments, questions, critiques, discussion you want to have, put it in the comments, as I know that some people are going to have some opinions on what I said. But see you next time.